It's Friday, December 23rd, 2021. I want to start this video out today and I want to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas. And I also want to talk about something that we don't talk enough of. And as most of you know, this is the new addition to the Babe family right here. This is Kona, and she's absolutely gorgeous. And I've said it before many times, if you don't think there's a God, I don't know how you can believe that when you look at a little creature like this. So this is the new addition. She's absolutely stunning. We love her to death. And I probably have never had so many comments on one thing more than this cat when I made a video last week with Kona. There were so many people that commented on her. So anyway, she wanted to come out, say hi to everybody. But let's not forget our pets. We are seeing shortages, and I've gotten messages. I'm reading articles on this. In fact, this is on the economic collapse. If you go to that website, and it's talking, there's an article there talking about shortages getting worse. And they're talking about shortages of literally everything, but including pet food, cat food, dog food. And animals, if you're like me, they're part of the family. And we need to be preparing for them too. Do you have enough cat food put away? Do you have enough dog food put away? Most people, we forget about that. And they are members of the family. So make sure that you have a couple months of food for your pets, for your dogs or cats. Don't overlook them. They are family members. And I think sometimes we think like, oh, we have enough water, we have enough food, we have this, we have that. Wait. Our dogs only have about a week's worth of food, maybe a couple weeks worth of food. I think you should have 2-3 months minimum for your pets, because we are going to continue to see these shortages worsen. And according to the article, everything from craft beer, energy, dog food, cranberry sauce, gravy, cat food, shortages, toilet paper, half and half, bacon. You've seen it. You've been to the stores. Most of you know there are shortages. My store out here, there's definitely not really a shortage, but I definitely see a lot of products that used to be very stacked to the ceiling, no longer stacked to the ceiling. And on the shelves, a lot of the product is pushed forward with nothing behind it. So maybe in your area you don't see it as bad, but I've been to a couple Walmarts that I filmed and they were really wiped out with a lot of food. So depending on the store, but look, this is going to get worse, and you don't want to be in a situation where if this shortage continues to get worse and you go to the store and you can't get what you want, it's better to get it now while you can and put it away. And so let's not forget the pets. They're so important. And you know, over the holidays, the animals bring so much joy to me, and I just want to mention this over the holidays, that we're taking care of our animals. And if you're out and about, there's a lot of homeless people out there, and a lot of them have dogs. I've noticed that. We've passed out a lot of dog food over the last couple years, and I'd like to do more. And honestly, I feel guilty that I haven't done enough, but we're gonna get on that hopefully in the next couple weeks, get out and make sure that we're feeding these animals. But there's homeless people out there with pets, they have dogs. And you know, if you can put a little bag together with a couple pounds of dry food, you can go get cheap food, put it in a Ziploc bag and go give a couple pounds of dry dog food to somebody. Go give somebody a 20-pound bag of dog food. These people are so appreciative. But most of all, you're helping the animals. A lot of these animals aren't eating enough. They don't have enough nutrition. So we need to step up a little bit and help them, and help some of these homeless people too. Too many times people are judgmental. These people deserve what they get. I see a lot of channels out there, and they film the homeless problem, and they show us what's going on, but they don't do anything about it. So, I think it's important that all of us, take a little bit of time, spend $5 or $10 on some dog food and help somebody out, help an animal out. So important. So I want to mention that over this holiday season. I want to get into a couple other articles here quickly. CNBC today, 20% of Americans couldn't pay their energy bill in the last year. This is staggering. Think about that. 20% of this country, and we're being told that the consumer is strong, the economy is recovering, the economy is doing fantastic. But 20% of this country couldn't pay their energy bill in the last year. That's staggering. Nearly half of US households that heat with natural gas will spend 30% more this year, this winter, than they did last winter. The ones that heat with propane or heating oil could see an even bigger leap in costs. People who use electricity to heat their homes are looking at a 6% increase. Look, that's a lot of money, even 6%. When you take into account all this inflation, when you go to the gas station, you go to the grocery store, you go and buy some dog food, you go and buy a Christmas tree, you pay your rent, etc., another 6% increase in your life. I don't know how people are doing it. So somebody please explain to me, with gas prices now right at about all-time highs, inflation at a 40-year high, how in the world is the average American doing this? I don't understand. Somebody please explain this to me. Look, is it personal loans? Is it pulling equity lines out? Is it credit card use? Are people just going deeper and deeper into debt? You know, we've known for years that 80% of this country is living paycheck to paycheck. Now, 20% can't even pay their energy bill here in America. How are they paying the rest of the bills? How are they paying to feed their kids? How are they keeping up with the auto bill? How are they keeping up with rent or mortgage? How bad are things really? I think things are much worse than we're being told. I think things are much worse than most of us even think. You know, I'm looking out at the golf course right now. It's kind of a gloomy day. It looks like we're going to get some rain, but there's people out there golfing. I was just down in El Paseo yesterday. People are out and about. But is that really a true reflection? Is it a real barometer of what is really happening in this country? Just because a few people can go out and afford to eat and spend money, what is it? What is really happening with the rest of this country? You know, maybe 10% of this country is doing well, but what's the other 90% doing? My mall, the old Westfield Mall here in Palm Desert, is bankrupt. It's in foreclosure. What does that tell you? Again, as I go out, I see countless numbers of closed restaurants, closed stores. You look at people's faces; they look depressed. They look angry. The way they drive, I mean, people are just literally triggered if you don't move as fast as soon as the light turns green. Everybody's in a big hurry, driving 90 miles an hour down the freeway, cutting in and out of traffic. I don't know where they're going, but people just seem really short-fused. So it's really important to just kind of sometimes just sit back and just get a little air, take a break, get out of the bubble for a minute. But we're going to see how it plays out in 2022 because all this is going to get worse. Sales of newly built homes tank as affordability hits buyers. This on CNBC today. This was interesting. November new home sales were down 14% from a year ago. Existing home sales were down 1.97% from a year ago. But 14% from a year ago with new home sales. That's a big number. And as I've said in a couple of my past videos, this housing market is beginning to cool down. So what's going to continue to keep this housing bubble inflated? They have rates so artificially low. They've given people so much money in the form of stimulus and benefits, child tax credits. So now what? Now that it's all running out, what are people going to do? The ones that already bought a home, who are running out of money and are going to have a very difficult time paying the mortgage, paying the rent. New home buyers getting completely priced out of these markets because of all this institutional money that's come into it. How and what is going to happen in order to keep this housing bubble inflated? I don't think it's going to be inflated much longer. More than 500,000 homeowners who put their homes in forbearance are now in active loss mitigation. Right here in California, they're going to give 40,000 homeowners $80,000. They're doing everything they can to keep this bubble inflated. Now, in the real world, in a real free market, these would be homeowners in default. We'd be seeing a massive amount of foreclosures right now, people defaulting, we'd be seeing more inventory coming on the market, and so on. So they're doing everything they can to continue kicking the can down the road, but it is getting harder and harder to kick that can. They're running out of options, ladies and gentlemen. It is a matter of time before this housing market bursts, before we start seeing a lot of inventory coming, before we start seeing prices coming way down. But the question I have, even with more inventory, with prices coming down, how in the world are people going to be able to afford homes in America if 80% of this country is living paycheck to paycheck, 20% can't even pay their energy bills? And we have millions of people quitting their jobs. We have 107 million people not in the labor force. What is going to support the economy, let alone what is going to support the housing market? So we are really heading into massive uncertainty. No man's land is what we're heading into. We are in a place, we're in uncharted waters, ladies and gentlemen. But one thing is for certain, in my opinion here, is this cannot continue. The bubbles will burst, including the bond bubble, the stock market bubble, the housing bubble. It's all going to burst because it cannot be supported. There are no fundamentals. It's all artificial. And this can only last for so long. It's lasted longer than most people expected, but the economy now is puttering out. It's running out of gas. And this engine is shutting down. The engine of this economy is shutting down. And it is at some point going to have an effect on Wall Street, no doubt about it. And as soon as the Fed begins tapering in 2022, this is going to have, I believe, a very, very serious effect on the market. So imagine what we could see in 2022. Stock market just completely falling apart, and the air in this housing bubble leaking out, bursting, and the housing market, stock market, they're going to have an effect on one another. And, we're going to see big problems with this economy as we're seeing right now, but you're going to see things accelerate out of control. People, are watching really a slow death of this economy, but you're going to see it accelerate. And this is when I think people really begin to get very, very scared. This is when people panic. This is when people are going to be running out of these markets. This is when people are going to be selling the houses. And literally, it's going to be a time of people just catching falling knives. And I think that we are going to see this in 2022. If this goes on past 2022, I don't know what to say. I'll be speechless. Here's another one coming from The Hedge. As used car prices hit another record high, here's what Goldman thinks happens next. Check this out. Used car prices are up 3.1% just in the first 15 days of December. The overall index has jumped a mind-blowing 48.9% from last December 2020. Gary Silberg of KPMG believes a turning point in vehicle prices is nearing as he sees a new car supply coming somewhere between 2022 and 2023. If inflation keeps soaring, who's going to buy these cars, ladies and gentlemen? If people can't afford to even put gas in their cars, how are they even going to buy a car, even if the prices come down? If these plants are shutting down their assembly lines now because they don't have semiconductors, who's working in these auto plants? And I'm told that they're having record-breaking sales even though there's no inventory, but they're charging more for a car, but there's so little inventory. How are the dealerships making money? How are the salesmen making money? The shipping companies, the transport companies, how are they making money if they're not transporting cars from Detroit, to California? Who in the world's making money? And if you don't have people working at the assembly line because they don't have semiconductors, how are these people making money? This is a mess. And if we do start to see cars showing up at the dealerships, who's going to be able to buy them? It's just incredible when you really think about it. But as I sit here today, 2 + 2 is not adding up to 4, is it? We have a stock market bubble, the housing bubble, the bond bubble. Everybody's going to go buy a car. Everything's great. But 107 million people not in the labor force, 80% of the country living paycheck to paycheck, 20% can't pay their heating bills. and we have food insecurity. 20 plus million people in America don't have enough food. I mean, so who in the world is buying all these houses, all of these cars? Who's buying all these stocks on Wall Street? Again, it's an illusion. It's a huge illusion, and I really wonder how accurate much of these numbers are. You know, we look at the statistics and the data. How accurate is the data? And so many people watch the television, watch the people in the $2,000 suits on these business channels, you know, reporting nothing but positive data when the economy has been shut down for a year, and yet we have a housing bubble with an economy shut down for a year. But we have a housing bubble. We have stock market highs. We have this massive health crisis, but everything is at all-time highs. What in the world is supporting all this? I don't get it, but I think it's a lot of it is a giant, massive illusion, and we're being sold something that's not real. I don't think these housing numbers, prices should be where they're at. I don't think the prices of these cars should be where they're at. You know, we had a lumber shortage, then we didn't have a lumber shortage. Now we're having another lumber shortage. You know, we can't unload ships down on Long Beach, but we have all this technology. We have all this money. We're the wealthiest, so-called wealthiest country, even though we're the biggest debtor nation in the world, but we can't unload boats. We can't unload boats, get product on a truck or a train and get it to the rest of the country. Something just doesn't make sense, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Schiff, Powell is still behind the inflation curve. This on The Hedge today. He says this: they can only suppress rates for so long, and he is 100% right. If rates went to 5%, he said we would be spending more on the interest of the national debt than we'd be spending on Social Security. I say this, ladies and gentlemen, as I close this video out: hold real things, folks. Digital assets will be a digital disaster. You need to be holding real things. The Fed is not going to help you. It's going to bankrupt you, in my humble opinion. The Fed has done so much damage to this economy. The Fed has made the 1% so wealthy. The Fed has created such a wealth gap, such an opportunity gap in this country. Do you really think that they're going to save you, the stockholder? Are they going to save your 401k? Are they going to save your pension? I would say probably not. And this is why I say you better hold real things. Real things are going to be worth a lot more than digital assets. Real assets are going to absolutely wipe out digital assets. One's real, one's not. One you're holding, one you're not. Real assets are always going to be worth more than digital assets when things implode. And ladies and gentlemen, things are imploding right now. I don't give financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. You have free will, you have a brain, you have a conscience. Do what you believe is right. But as I close the video out, I want all of you to have a phenomenal Christmas. You are blessed. It doesn't matter if you get a great Christmas gift. It doesn't matter if you don't get a Christmas gift. You are absolutely blessed. If you're watching this video today, you're watching it on your computer, your $1,000 phone. More than likely, you're awake. And more than likely, you're very blessed. You're alive today. You're walking around. So we are very, very, very blessed. So as I leave you, maybe you don't get the Christmas gift you want. Maybe you can't give somebody the Christmas gift you want. That doesn't matter. You are blessed. That's all that matters. So this whole Christmas thing has gotten so corporate. And now it's about, you know, how much you get from somebody, how expensive your gift is. Look, it's nice to give nice things. It's nice to get nice presents, all right? But that's not what it's all about. Make sure that you thank God this weekend, tonight, tomorrow, every day for your blessings. You're eating, hopefully. You have clean water, you have a roof over your head. Maybe you have a family, you have friends, you got a great church. You are so blessed. So many people. I don't drive a BMW. I'm not driving a Lexus or a Mercedes. My friends moved to this zip code. They're living in a house that's got 2 more bedrooms than my house. Their condo's on the beach. Mine's inlet. Everything. My friend's got a Rolex and I'm wearing a Timex. It doesn't matter. let's get our priorities straight. We are heading into very, very rough times, ladies and gentlemen. The kind of car you drive, the kind of Christmas gift you get, the kind of watch you wear, it's not going to matter. What's going to matter is, are you awake? Are you critically thinking? Are you getting out of the system? Are you getting more self-sufficient? Are you an independent human being? So these are things we really need to think about, and a lot of people really need to start making some big changes as we enter 2022. And this is the best time to get ahead. Look, make the changes right now today. Don't even wait till January 1st. This is the time to get an early start for 2022. A lot is on the line. A lot of things are going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Things are going to happen that people here in America never thought humanly possible could happen. Okay, people are going to see economic devastation. They're seeing it. It's death by 1,000 cuts. It is going to accelerate. So let's give thanks for everything we have, and thank God you are awake. Thank God you are preparing, and thank God for everything you have. And I thank God for all of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch these videos and to share your thoughts and ideas in the comments down below, because you have woken up so many people. I can't thank you enough. And you don't have to thank me for anything. I thank the people down below for their outstanding work and comments, because it's really made me think. It's made my family members think. It's made my friends think, and it's really been a wealth of knowledge for me, and I know so many of you. So keep up the great comments. God bless all of you. Have a phenomenal, outstanding Christmas. Talk to you soon.